One of the worst pieces of financial advice I'd ever been given, and ultimately contributed to my overconsumption problem, occurred in my 20s when I transitioned into tech. And at that time, tech was bananas. You had a bunch of 20 something year olds, multimillionaires whose prefrontal cortexes were not developed. It was legit like Wolf of Wall Street. So, bottle service, private jets, the whole nine. And there was somebody at the company that I really looked up to because he's only a couple years older than me. And I wanted to sit down and talk to him about, what are you investing in? Like, what are some of the strategies that you have? Because he lived in a penthouse apartment. He had multiple luxury cars. And I thought, like, how do we get there? I had just started making $100,000, which I thought was pretty good at, I think, 26-ish years old as a first gen to go to college and somebody who grew up low income. And this is like 10 years ago, so adjusted for inflation. And this person practically gagged at like how cute my question was. He said, I don't save anything. I don't have anything saved. I don't invest anything or have retirement because if I wanted something, I just need to make more money. And I said, what do you do when you're like, 80 years old or whatever? He's like, no, I'm going to make so much money that I don't need a retirement plan. And the other piece of advice he gave me was to dress for the role that you want, not the role you have. But he didn't mean like, wear nice clothes, which I agree with, dressing for the role you want. He meant I needed a different pair of Louboutins for every single day. So down the rabbit hole I went, and that's what started my overconsumption. If I think about all the clothes that I bought and all the stupid shit that I bought, and I would have invested that instead, things would be very different. And so that's why I always share the lesson of, are you actually going to be rich? Are you going to play rich?
I like that this lady is self-aware and takes accountability of her past decisions. A lot of women in today's society lack accountability and make decisions based on how people will perceive them, how they will look on the gram. To be fair to women, even men do this, and I honestly blame social media. There is absolutely no need to spend all your money trying to impress people on social media or even work. And guess what? Those people don't even care. You're just being stupid with your finances. Here is what some people are saying. Your 20s are so weird. So many young people trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of living in their means and prepping for the future.
Here are the two worst financial mistakes I ever made. And this is coming from a normal person. I'm not super financially successful, but I'm also not a disconnected rich person who's going to tell you, well, after I sold my sixth property, then I didn't quite get the return on the seventh property. No, it's nothing like that. For people that are closer to my situation, you're starting to have some money that you're looking to save up or invest or whatever. These are two of the worst mistakes I ever made. Number one, sports gambling. Don't do it. The only way I can tell you it's okay to sports gamble is if you have a healthy relationship with gambling, and that is that like you can put the occasional small amount of money on a game to, just kind of have a good time with your friends or something like that. Gambling is an addiction just like any drug, just like anything else. But instead of hurting your body or your brain, it's going to kill your bank account. It is a sickness. It will get into your brain and it will destroy your financial life way faster than you realize. Like my story with gambling was when I first started gambling on sports, I went up $7,000 within the first 4 months, right? The needle was in me. Okay. I was like, oh, I could probably never work again. I could just do this full time, blah, blah, blah. Going insane. Okay. Probably within a month or two of gaining that $7,000, I had lost all of it and then also down an additional $1,000. And then ever since that point, all I did was lose. I would win a little bit and then I would lose twice that amount until eventually I lost $12,000. So it's like alcohol. If you can maintain a very healthy, moderate relationship with it, then that's fine. But as soon as you understand that it's becoming a problem, as soon as you understand that it's becoming an addiction, you cannot do it. I'm telling you right now, it's designed to infect your brain. You will not win. This business wouldn't exist if you were going to win. People don't win. The companies win. The second thing is another form of gambling, the stock market. And I'm not telling people not to invest in the stock market. You should absolutely, if you're able to, put money into the stock market. But don't fool yourself into thinking that you're going to become a day trader. That is a mistake that I made, like a lot of people in 2020. I thought, oh, I'm going to become a day trader. I know a lot about stocks. Blah, blah, blah. No, I know nothing. There are people that dedicate their entire lives to studying financials studying stocks that are still wrong all the time. If you're one of those people that is your job is to study financial reports and understand companies, then that is when like actual day trading makes sense. The mistake that I made is that all of my money the entire time should have been going into long-term index funds. What I did was I took a bunch of money, I put it into certain stocks. Some of them did all right, so I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And then I put a bunch of money into other stocks, and a bunch of them tanked, okay? The only stocks that have performed well consistently over time are long-term index funds. So if you're just going to dump your money in and forget about it, which is what you should do unless you are trying to day trade, which again, you shouldn't, unless you're trying to make that your long-term career, which you shouldn't, okay? Dump money into ETFs, forget about it, let it rise over time. It's going to crash. It will crash. That's an inevitability. People doomsday every year. Oh, the stock market crash is coming. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Okay. Keep investing. Keep putting money in, whether the stock market is high, whether the stock market is low. Pick index funds, dump it in, leave it, let it grow over time. The ones I recommend are the S&P, VTI, and VOO. Those are the ones that I'm most heavily invested in. So if you're like, wherever you're at in life, if you're starting to get to the point where you have some savings, you're starting to think about investing money, don't do those things. There are two things that I screwed up that I now have the benefit of hindsight to tell you, do not do it.
I like this guy. In my own opinion, I think you should avoid all forms of gambling. As human beings, we are defined by our habits, and gambling is a dangerous habit. And this guy raised an interesting point. Once you start winning with gambling, you get more false confidence, thinking that you have a magical skill of gambling, that with the right conditions, the right weather, you can make money. Truth is, gambling is not a skill and is based on chance. And once you get this false confidence, it's hard to quit, regardless of how much money you lost, because your brain has convinced you that you're good at this, that maybe one more different technique will make you that hit that will cover all the loses. Gambling is a sickness, and I hate it with every bone in my body. Here is what other people are saying. My uncle calls it sports investing. 99% of people give up before winning big. Wow, that one is not only diabolical, but sad and irresponsible. Bro was one win away from being a billionaire, and he quit. What is it with this generation and trying to be a billionaire? When I was young, being a billionaire was looked at as being a horrible thing. Buddy, I've been gambling every day 20+ years. It's all I think about, and I still haven't gotten addicted, so doubt it's happening. This guy is literally making my argument against gambling stronger. Fellas, save your money, peace and energy away from gambling, and thank me later, even if you're winning.